There you go. So, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you. Thank you for buying this English course. Okay, I'm so very grateful. We're going to have 6 months of classes. Yeah, so in total, there will be 24 classes. This course will end on July the 8th. Yeah, and it will be on Monday, by the way. Can you believe this? It will be on Monday as well. Okay, so let's get started. Today we're going to learn how to write persuasively. Do you guys have experience with that? Do you try to persuade other people? Let's get started with you, Isabella. Do you try to persuade other people?
No,
No?
I actually don't think I have the qualities to be able to persuade someone.
Well, but
I
don't you
think
think?
I would be, I think I
Yeah.
would be a terrible seller, for example.
Well, but aha, most thing they conflate these terms. They think that in order for you to, persuade is all about selling. And no, no, you can be like, you can learn this persuasion skills in order to convince other people. You don't necessarily need to be a good saleswoman, but obviously, those are the people that are more likely to be great at persuading other people. I would agree with that. I would have to agree with that. Absolutely. Okay, fair enough. What about you, Carlos?
Well, I tried to persuade some people when I was working at the factory. I don't know if I have talked about it before, but we were encouraged to persuade other works to do something that we need. In this case, I needed to some people on the I don't know the English word for that, but the ferramentaria. Assim.
Ferramentaria, I have no idea how to say
I
that
have
in
no idea how
English.
to say that.
I'm not even sure I know what it means in Portuguese. What does it mean? It means like bloco de cheio de ferramenta. What does it mean? Do you girls know what that means?
No, it's a place where the workers do specific tools. Like it's like I have a specific need on the factory on
Yeah.
the this environment, and I project and tool, and then I send to them so they can manufacture it.
A workshop.
Yeah, it may be a workshop. I guess it fits. It
That's the
fits well.
closest definition that I would get for that. A workshop. Well
Yeah, I
done.
guess it's a workshop. So if I have a project, I design this project and I have to deliver to them and ask them to prioritize it. But they were always overwhelmed with a lot of other projects. So they my manager encouraged me to persuade them to try to persuade them, and I failed miserably to do that
Miserably.
miserably to do that. But
Oh, okay. Please, please repeat after me. Encourage.
encourage.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well done. Encourage. Good. Now, Thais, my darling, what about you?
Well, I think I have a lack of confidence to do
Okay.
to persuade.
When it comes to persuasion or persuading other people.
Exactly. Sorry, I didn't understand.
Sure. When it comes
When it comes to
persuading other people.
persuading.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have this ability.
So that's good. We're going to learn how to do that in English, my darling.
Okay.
Um, and I know where this comes from in many ways, in many ways. So, but I think we all should have the opportunity to exercise this, because just like everything in
Yeah.
life, we need the opportunity to put this in practice. Yeah. And again, in the job market, especially as a teacher, I try to take a special approach, especially for women, because we live in a society that tries to put women down. If a woman tries to persuade a man, she's going to be labeled as a bitch. And so this is what I fight against this, because if you're firm, if at times you need to be firm with your arguments, it doesn't mean you're a bitch. You're just doing what has to be done. And we don't say
Yes.
anything like that to a guy,
Yes, it's
right?
true.
Exactly. So you have to know, my darling, that I understand you 100%. And you're in a safe space. Both you and Isabella, you are in a safe space where you will be able to learn these skills, and become proficient in this skill. Well done. Guilherme, what about you? Tell me, what is your experience with that?
I'm sorry, I wasn't here in the beginning of that.
But you're here now. Yeah. So my
Yeah,
question to you, my
but I'm
question
here.
to you is, what is your experience with persuasion? Do you persuade other people? Do you know techniques of persuasion
Oh,
techniques?
no, not at all. I
No.
usually no. I usually do what people want, just like instead of what I want, just
Yeah.
just to make them shut up or something like that, make them stop pressing. But I would be a terrible salesman. So I have a very hard time convincing people to this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. Well done. Well, let me share my screen with you guys, and let's learn a bit more about this. So, but first, we're going to play a game. Yeah. Okay. So, let me share my screen with you. Just 1 second. Oh, I opened the wrong thing. Just give me a moment. For fuck's sake, just one moment. Ali, logging in as a teacher. There you go. Just one moment. Quick moment. And yeah, now it's going to work. Reload. There you go. Now I can share my screen. Okay. So here's the thing. We have three scenarios. Okay. First, it's time to get a family pet. And then we have the roles, the child and the parent. So let's get started with you, Thais and Isabella, the two of you. Who wants to be the child and who wants to be the parent?
I want to be the parent.
You want to be the parent? Okay. You get to say no. Ha ha ha. That's what parents do.
Yeah.
So, Thais, you will be the
Oh,
child.
okay.
So, uh, Thais, you have to convince your mom, yeah, you want to get a family pet. Let's see what you're going to do.
Oh my God. Well, let me think about.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, starts difficult.
It's a bit difficult, isn't it? That's the goal. That's the goal of the lesson.
Yeah.
Be a little theatrical, like, Mom, I want to get a dog.
Ah, okay. Just freaking out. uh, Mom, please buy me a dog. I really need a dog.
Why, why do you need a dog?
Because it's so cute and I'm so alone last days and I really need a company in my day.
Don't you think a person would do that job? Actually, don't you think a person would be more appropriate for your loneliness?
I don't like too much people.
Oh my god. But a
I do
child,
prefer a
what
dog,
I raised.
mom.
Okay.
Uh,
Now, Isabella, try to negotiate with your daughter. Like, is she willing to to look after the dog? Because it's not just having the dog. If you have a dog, you gotta clean the dog. You gotta give the dog a bath. You gotta, if it shits, you gotta collect the shit. You gotta clean the environment. So ask your daughter, are you willing to do all of that?
Okay, are you willing to do all the to deal with all the perks of having a dog? Because yeah, it's pretty, it's cute, it's it's good to have a dog, but it's not all flowers. It's a little job,
It's a
actually.
little job.
You have to clean the poop, you have to feed it, you have to clean where it's gonna do its basic needs or sleep and everything else. You have to walk the dog, you have to
That's a good
be
thing.
aware of of a lot of things.
Well, um, I promise, Mom, I will do everything you just talking. Um, I am a good child. You know that.
You look like you were a good child, Thais. You look like you were a very behaved child, were you? Or that's just your
I
face?
was. No, I am a good person.
No, no, no. I mean, you could be a good person, but you could have been a terrible child in the past. Like, I am a good person, but I used to be a horrible child. My
Okay, I
mom was
understand.
terrified of me. My mom would call me a little devil.
No, I was a good child.
Ah, you look like it.
And when I was kid, I didn't get a dog. So
So I'm gonna give you one now. You can have the dog. You have
now
convinced
it's a
me.
two.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well done. So you got your dog, Thais. Good.
Thanks.
Now, thank you, girls. Now it's gonna be your turn. Carlos and Guilherme. Wow, that's good. Whoa, that's going to be a. There's going to be a fight here. Siblings, I deserve the bigger bedroom in our new house. Carlos and Guilherme, how would you negotiate that? You're both siblings. That means brothers, yeah?
Well, well, I will say that I'm bigger, I'm taller, so I need more space to my
Bigger
stuff.
and taller, like shut up, I'll punch you in the face.
I need more space then.
No, man, I need more space. I work at home. I need my bedroom is also my office. That's why I need more.
But me too. I
I,
work.
I need to put my desktop. I have two monitors, and how I'm gonna fit a bed in that small bedroom? No, you take it.
So yeah, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Both you guys believe you're entitled to the biggest room in the house because you both work from home. Okay, so we need to find an agreement. We need to find a common ground. But
Well,
well, yeah, I don't. I would have gotten into a fight with this. I actually
Yeah.
did when at home. I fought with my sister over the biggest room in the house, the second biggest room
Well,
actually, because the biggest room obviously went to my parents. Yeah, they grabbed the room, the biggest room. But then the second biggest, it was up to me and my sister, and we were fighting over it. And she got the room because she was older.
yeah, that's not
yeah.
something I would lose. But as we are not actual siblings, I don't know if I'm older, so I can use that card right here.
We can negotiate
Well,
that. How old
we
are
can
you,
negotiate.
Guilherme?
35.
Well,
35.
I lost that. I'm 30.
You're
That's
30,
why I deserve the
Carlos.
bigger one. And that's why the bigger one is mine because I'm the older here.
But it's atheism. You don't have to do that.
No, but I'm in charge. I don't care. I'm older. That's how it works with brothers.
Well, when it
Okay.
comes to siblings,
Yeah.
it gets quite hard to pass this barrier of the elder brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the older brother. I make the
Yeah.
rule.
It's bad. It's bad. And Oh, did you guys fight over a big room in the house?
No.
No?
I
You mean
didn't. Yeah.
in your lives?
In your life, in your
No,
general
no,
life?
no. When I was living with my parents, I shared the room with my brother, so
Oh, you shared
we
the
don't had
room,
this
so
yeah we don't have this issue.
you didn't have to fight over the
When
room.
we moved
Yes.
uh, to a house where we had two bedrooms,
Yeah.
two bedrooms, and my parents decided. We had no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
Oh, your parents, they
They
made the
just,
choice for you. I
yeah,
think that
they
that,
assigned their rooms and that's
yeah.
that.
But do you believe that there is a thing, such as, for example, a parent like having a particular taste for one child over the other? Do you believe that this is real? They say they love their children equally, but do you believe they like m- more one of their children?
I think it depends on the parents. I think it's not
It's
a
not
rule
as,
to be
yeah,
followed. Sometimes I believe that it exists parents that love both of their children
equally.
equally, but I know some parents just put one person in one kid in the pedestal and uh, bury the other on the shit.
Yeah,
Just don't care about them.
that's
Yeah,
true.
I believe they all do, but some pretend better.
Fair, fair enough.
Because they
Yeah.
Well
all do.
done.
It's a human relationship, you know. They all have
Human
it.
relationships are complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
Yes.
third one,
absolutely.
well, I'm going to skip the third one because that's obvious. Yeah, students should not be allowed to use their cell phones in class. So but right off the bat, I'll say no to that. That's non-negotiable. Okay, well done. So now let's have a look at some of the techniques that we have here when we want to persuade other people. So we have three techniques known as logos, pathos, and athos. Yeah. So logos is all about providing facts that are true, real life examples. You use reasoning. Yeah. Pathos, that comes from the emotional perspective. Yeah. Lots of people try to use their emotions to convince people. We saw lots of this in the pandemic, with people saying that they were against the vaccination because they saw one person dying. Yeah, they saw one person dying out of hundreds of millions that were just fine. And so they were basically being driven by that emotional appeal, which is not necessarily interesting depending on what you're talking about. But then again, this is kind of like a sensitive topic as well. And we have the last one, which is based on credibility, right? Usually when I listen to people, I take into account their credibility and their logic. My last resort would be an emotional appeal because I don't think that will give you something. So now I'd like to ask you individually, Thais, when you're engaging with other people, right? When you're talking to them and you can see that they're trying to persuade you, what do you like to see? Do you like to see emotions, facts, credibility? What do you like to see?
I think I like to see facts
Mm-hmm.
and credibility. I think
Mm.
it is most important than emotional. That's my opinion.
I agree. It's more important, not most important, more important.
More important.
Yeah,
Okay.
quick lesson here because this is very easy to learn. You see, most, that is the superlative form of more when you're talking about everything. So, for example, the most intelligent girl in the room. I'm talking about the person that happens to be the most intelligent person. Yeah, but if you're
Okay.
comparing two things and you say more than, so in this
Okay.
case, you're telling me that credibility and logic are more important than emotions. So because I'm
Yes.
comparing, A and
Two
B, then
things.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. This is why I have to say more. Well done.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Isabella, what about you?
I think also logic and credibility. I think credibility first,
Yeah,
logic second. Emotional appeal, I don't I don't think I go with it that much.
yeah,
So it's these two, logic and credibility.
fair enough. Yeah, yeah. I think that every IT professional will go for that reason. We don't go with emotion. No, we don't do that. That's not us. Thank you, Carlos. What about you?
Well, logically, I'll go for logic and credibility
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
There's no other way for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Guilherme, what about you?
Yeah, I kind of disagree a little bit because I believe pathos, pathos is the
Pathos.
strongest
Yeah,
here. Yes, it's the strongest here because it's easier to convince someone while you are listing emotions. And in that, anger is an emotion. And we saw that like a lot. You make someone hate something or hate someone else. And they go for that. That moves people, that moves crowds and countries, politics.
yeah. Well,
And also it's used in advertisement. When the Boticário, Coca-Cola, they try to bring emotion to convince you by bringing that emotion to Toshin, making uh, a commercial where you think about your childhood, stuff like that.
yeah, but for you,
Yeah, I don't use any of that.
sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't try to convince people like that.
No,
I'm
you
saying,
don't. But when people
yeah,
are interacting with you, how do you react to that? If someone is trying to convince you of something, what do you take into account? Logic,
yeah.
credibility,
I will try
emotions.
to say logic, but we are all susceptible, susceptible.
We're
How do I
what?
pronounce
Sorry?
that? How do I pronounce susceptible?
Susceptible.
Susceptible to the emotional uh, side of convincing.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if politics is that, we were made to hate the ex-president for many reasons, and that is the strongest feeling to
Yes.
be convinced of something.
That
So,
Bolsonaro is a particular trigger for me. I have to admit
yeah,
that.
yeah, I would like to say that I'm not susceptible to that, but we all are.
We all are. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but you see, but are you influenced by that? Because this is what the question is about. No, there's no doubt we're all
I
susceptible to our
would like
emotions.
to say no, but yes, I am.
Yeah, yeah. We all are in a way. I have to agree with that as well. But I have to say that I try to use logic and
Yeah,
credibility more. You know,
yeah,
uh,
I would like to say that, but not
sorry.
really. I would like to say that we are more logical and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
I don't know if I believe that.
hmm you're not so sure. Yeah, it's I have to say that depending on the situation, for example, you brought the subject politics into the class. If
Yeah,
I,
but
if I am dealing with a person who happens to say, "Well, I am a Bolsonaro supporter," I have to say that when I hear that, then I expect a lot more to believe them.
yeah,
I'm not saying I'm not going to believe them. This is not what I'm saying, right? But I have to say that because you see, that guy was all about spreading fake news and lies. Yeah. And so this is why I struggle. Now I will go like, okay, if you can prove me, if you can show me evidence, I would require more logic and more credibility as an emotional response to that.
way more. like
Way more, exactly. That's
you
the
know,
thing, you know? So if they tell me, oh, Olavo de Carvalho was such a great philosopher, and
yeah,
and guys, I'm so sorry. When I got the news that Olavo de Carvalho died, I celebrated. They call me evil because I celebrated somebody else's death, yeah, but so be it. I celebrated his death.
yeah, but also like nostalgia, that
Nostalgia.
childhood feeling, that nostalgia, uh, that brings strong emotions, and it's used, to market movies and stuff like that. Barbie, the movie, big
Yeah.
success based on nostalgia.
Well done. Cool. Now let's have a look at some of the expressions that we can use in English in order to make use of a more persuasive language. So I believe that most, if not all of them, you might already know. Okay. So, for example, when you want to use reasoning, we have the expressions such as you know, obviously, it is certain, of course, and be careful with the pronunciation of this word, okay? I constantly see people saying curse, but a curse is something else, okay? A curse is like when you're watching Harry Potter and you know that thing like Avada Kedavra, that's a curse, okay? That's not how you pronounce that. It's course, of course. And we have also without a doubt. And pay attention to this silent B. Okay, the B in doubt is silent. So without a doubt. Okay. I believe that you all knew these terms. Yeah. Right. Now let's have a look at a few examples that we have here. When you want to use examples, for instance, to illustrate, for example, as evidence. In fact, I also believe these are very common. You already knew that, yeah. The issue here is not actually the words; it's how to use them in a sentence. And I'm going to provide you with a few contexts, and I want you to use them. But so far, so good. Yeah. Next, use emotions. Imagine if, imagine all the people. Just think. It's inhumane, senseless to, not to. How would you feel if put yourself in someone's shoes? Yeah. Okay. So far, so good. Now, using organization. To begin with, moreover, yet another reason why, in the same way, one less reason. Do you guys know this expression, all of these terms here? Or is there a new one? Oh, cool. Okay. And authority from experience, analysis, explains, confirms. 5 years as blah blah has taught me, according to blah blah. And now we have a few examples. So, for example, as you know, the flu affects the young and the elderly more than the middle aged. That is true. It's a proven fact. Imagine if your child got sick during the holidays and missed all the parties and fun. Even though that's not, that's even that, even though that's a tad emotional, I don't find that so moving. Do you think that that is really emotional? That second one right there. What would you say about that, Isabella? The second one. That's not too emotional.
Well, I actually had to be a little of more context. For example,
Mm,
suppose you're putting your child through some something that is gonna cause him or her to be sick, for example,
yeah.
and it's not something that it's normally accepted. I can't think of anything from the top of my mind, and well, I would be, I don't know, I would think, well, the holidays are coming, and well, if I had a child, I would want him or her to experience the holidays, to enjoy the holidays, etc. And of course, I wouldn't want my child to be sick, for example. So
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
And I don't know. We have to think also about the público. For example, if
Public.
you're
You
talking
can
to
say
a
public
mom,
or audience.
to
Yeah.
the audience, that if you're talking to a mom, it might appeal to her more than it
Yes.
would appeal to a father or someone who isn't related to the
A woman
child.
with no children.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got a point there. Yeah, to me it doesn't strike me as an emotional thing because I'm not a father. I don't have children, so I can't relate to that feeling. You said something that is very true, which reminds us of that one expression we just had a look at, to put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. Well done. Okay. Now, this is where the fun starts. Yeah? We have 5 topics, and I want you to first try to convince. You're going to work in pairs, and you're going to try to convince each other using some of the techniques. So I am going to some of the expressions. Yeah. In this case, using reasoning, I'm going to copy and paste this here. Yeah. Use reasoning. And here's the number one: the government should pay for university tuition. Now, I want Thais and Carlos, I want you to interact with that. Use reasoning.
Well, okay. Well, I think obviously the government should pay for the university tuition because it's um, it's a need of the country to produce high quality professionals and researchers that will, of course, build a better future for our nation, or something like that.
That is good. Thais, are you convinced by that? Do you want to counterattack that?
Sorry, but I don't know what means tuition.
Tuition. Do you know this word right here? Tuition. Uh, that's the amount of money that you have to pay for the institution in order to study. So, for example, you kind of like needed to
Ah,
pay a
okay.
tuition to start studying with me. Every time you go to a school and that's a private institution and you pay them in order to study there, you pay a tuition, a fee.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um, the government should pay for university tuition. Okay. Actually, I agree with Carlos.
you agree with Carlos? It's very hard to disagree with what you just said.
Yeah,
So,
I start to speak because it would be quite hard for for not to
um,
disagree with my point as well.
that's
I think
me.
the same way. Yeah.
So I don't know how to. Uh,
I can help you. I can help you. And I believe Carlos is going to agree with this as well. You see, obviously, the country should allow its citizens to have access to school and universities because that's how you develop society. That's how you allow better workers to have better opportunities in the job market, no doubt. But what if this person has access to that level of education and then leaves the country, never to come back?
that's how it works in Brazil.
That's how it works in Brazil, and it's a problem. I don't think that it's fair for us as taxpayers because we are the ones financing their studies. We are paying for their
Yeah.
tuition. Yeah, I don't think that it's fair for me to pay for a person to have their master's degree, their PhDs, highly qualified professionals, only to apply for countries like the United States, Australia, the UK, Ireland, yeah, and leave Brazil. It's not fair,
I agree 100%.
you
It's
know?
not fair.
So now
Uh,
you know one point. You can counter argument Carlos now.
okay. Uh, um, sorry, I
Yeah,
need a brief.
take a breath, take a deep breath. You're doing okay. You're doing great. This is not Judgment Day. We all love you, Thais. It's fine. It's all right.
Yeah, well, I have to disagree with Carlos because I think we have a lot of people with a bunch of money in their accounts and they simply get this opportunity. And sorry, I just miss the
You said something that is
the
true. You
thought.
said something else. You said something else that is very true. When you look at federal universities, you have lots of rich people. This is what you're saying. I said
Yeah,
something else. I was talking about people who have access to this education and then leave the country. But that could also be poor people. But you are
okay, I understand.
you're talking about something else that is very true, especially in the elite courses like engineering courses, medicine. You only get to see rich people.
Yeah, I think when we are poor, we can stay in the college all day. We don't have money to sorry, forgive the word. We don't have money enough to pay rent, food,
Yeah.
so I think the particular college was not for people.
So, and now, Carlos, you have to kind of like find a middle ground there because you both agreed with the following thing. You both
Yes.
agreed that the state should pay for that, but then you should negotiate a solution then.
Okay. Yes, we found some common ground. So I think that the government must pay the tuition for people to study, mainly when we're talking about poor people. And without a doubt, we need some system that will ensure that only poor people will have access to this free tuition, and we can implement a system that will guarantee that all the investment of these taxpayers will pay off, um, turning turning the work on turn the work on when people get graduated, um, make them work for some years, government industry or government I forgot the word for that.
For what?
Uh, empresas,
Companies,
companies.
enterprises,
To work on company enterprises or national enterprises, not global enterprise, but national.
national
Uh,
ones, Brazilian ones.
make people work on Brazilian companies for a short time, like 3 to 5 years, and ensure that we will have some benefit from investing in those people.
I think the students will should be working at national companies at least for 10 years.
That is one. Yeah, because going to college is spends on depending on the college that where you go to, it's just so much money. For example, medicine. If you want to study there, it's just like what does it cost you? I think it costs you 500,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. I think it costs you 500,000. So maybe something like 10 to 5 to 10 years, because that will give you enough time for you to pay off your education. Because when you're living in this country, you're buying things. So ultimately, you're
Mhm.
paying taxes, right? So if you do that, then it's fine. Well done.
Yes.
Now, next, Isabella. Thank you, Thais. Thank you, Carlos. Now, Isabella and Guilherme, I want you guys to use examples and talk about the driving age should be 21.
Uh, yeah, I agree with that because, if, for instance, you can see that. I'm sorry, my dog just jumped on me.
Okay.
Uh, it, as for instance, we can see that most of the accidents are caused by people under that age because they drive it so with very recklessness
Oh,
and
recklessly.
recklessly, yes,
Wreck.
and
Recklessly. Like this.
recklessly, and
Wreck.
they cause a lot of accidents, and they're
Recklessly.
recklessly.
Yeah.
They are not mature enough to be driving and putting other people's lives at risk.
Isabella, what would you say about that?
Well, I for some things I think it's it's not productive, let's say, to prohibit someone to do some things. For example, let's suppose we set this age 21 to be the age at which a person can drive.
Yeah.
I don't think every everybody waits until they're 21 to actually drive. So, for instance, I know it's really not it's really not, it doesn't actually appeal to logic when you have one or two examples of something and tries to prove that at a conversation, trying to convince someone of something. But for instance, I have two brothers. The both of them drive, and one is older. It's 30 something, and the other one is 20 something. And both of them doesn't have a license to drive. And I believe there are a lot of people that drive without having a license to do so. And what I think is driving recklessly is about, I'm going to say specifically about driving. It's about something else. It's about education, for example. It's about how you were, I don't know, raised by your parents, how the environment you're in. So I don't know. For some things, I don't believe prohibiting gets us to the place to which they want us to get to.
I see your
So
point. I see your
I
point.
don't think it should be, I don't know, 15, for example.
Yeah, obviously that.
But
Yeah, you're saying that you're not sure that by um putting that no practice in place, you would stop the actual problems from happening. That's what you're
yeah,
saying.
and I think yeah, and I think the I don't know, the cause for accidents when a teenager or people that are in their uh, early 20s,
Yeah,
when
people
they
in their early
drive in that
20s.
way, I don't I don't know, I think there must be something else that we can appeal to make these people, I don't know, drive in
More
a
responsibly.
more, yes, with a more responsibility.
There are more things we can resort to. There are
There
more
are
things.
more things.
More things. Let me get it down for you. More things we can resort to. You got a point. You absolutely got a point. And you know, the brain doesn't fully develop until the age of 25. Did you know that? So now the question is, should it even? Why do we allow this to happen before the brain is fully developed? Now, I'm not a scientist. I think that this requires a lot of science. But then again, like you said, the way you're raised, this plays a massive role in this because you could have people that are in their late tweens that are super responsible, and you can have people there in their late 20s who will happen to be completely irresponsible. In fact, we see drivers in their 50s, in their 40s, driving drunk. You can't get any more irresponsible than that, right? So yeah, I gotta hand it to you. You said something cool. What would you say about that, Guilherme?
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that because people that drive without a license, they are putting the others in danger. And because I mean, not that the license prevents anything, but at least it's a test that guarantees that that person uh, took some classes. They know something, they know what they need to do. And if a person is driving without a license, there's no telling what they learn, how to, you know,
You said something that is quite interesting, yeah. And I know that it's obviously what I'm about to say doesn't necessarily define it, that doesn't necessarily define what I mean, but like what guarantee do you have that having the license will actually guarantee that the person knows what they're doing, especially when we live in a
yeah,
country
but
where people buy their licenses.
but then we are talking about the implementation of the service, not about
Yeah,
the service itself. Then it's another problem. We should
it's a
investigate
different problem.
yeah, why some people buy their license, why it is happening.
That's
That's
a
another
different
problem.
problem. I
But
have to agree.
yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't affect the original statement, which is the driving age should be 21. Okay. But do you agree that it's also subjected to how people are raised, like Isabella said?
yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
So we
Because
have found a common ground.
if we have some people with, like you said, 50, 60 that drive drunk, and
Yeah, that pisses me off so much. Like especially with services like Uber. Well, before Uber, you had taxis. I mean, there really is no reason for a person to drive drunk. There really is none. I think it's unacceptable. There are many ways for you to avoid that. It should never happen. But still, yeah,
yeah, exactly.
it just still help. It still happens. It's unacceptable.
And that's not age related. We have
No, it's
people
not
doing
age
that
related. It's
every,
behavior related.
yes.
Yeah. Well done. Okay. Now I will skip to this one, and Carlos, I will interact with you this time. Thank you, Isabella. Thank you, Guilherme. Carlos, violent video games cause violent behavior in teens, and now I want us to try to use some emotions. Let's see what you're gonna have to
Wow,
tell me.
that's a tough one.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. So yeah, hold on. Where is the pair work at? There you go. Here, violent video games cause violent behavior in teens.
Wow. I believe that violent games don't cause violent reactions on teens because uh, imagine if you see a situation of danger, or you present a situation of violence. Sometimes you react becoming violent, and sometimes you react become a defender. It's like when, for example, imagine the hard situation when a kid is victim of violence in their home. Sometimes the kid grows and become a violent adult, and
Becomes
so
abusive.
becomes abusive. But sometimes the kid grows and they aim to be the best people they could. So they avoid in any way to do this harm to other people, and they prevent to do uh, this
They try their
they
best
prevent to
not to
hurt someone
exhibit
the
this
way they were
behavior.
hurt. Like,
Okay.
yeah, to not just this behavior.
Um.
So
Yeah.
When you violence in games do to teenagers, I believe it's more about the teenagers themselves, the person they are, than the video games. Video.
Than the video games. Well, you see, but just think of the following situation. Do you know that game, Grand Theft Auto? You do know that game, yeah?
Yes, I do know.
Imagine
Yes.
if, sorry, just think about the following situation. A teen who loves to run over pregnant women on GTA. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I know.
Because you can steal a car and you can do whatever you want on that game. But this one particular team is crazy about running over pregnant women.
Yeah, it's for sure is a problem, and I agree with you. But imagine if this is a point where parents can identify some disorders, because
Exactly.
this teen
Psycho.
has certainly
Ex-
has a issue.
exactly. We're not talking about the general population because overall, I would say I don't believe that games cause teens to be violent. I think the teens who are violent, they will be violent anyway. You know,
Yes, but
Maybe,
sometimes,
yeah, sorry.
sorry, I interrupt you.
Maybe there might be a trigger, but it's already there.
Yes, that's what I'm going to say.
It's already there. So maybe the game triggered something, but the game did not cause it. It was already there. If it were not for the game, it would have been for something else. If this person witnessed, for example, his parent hitting his mom, and then
Yes,
it would create an abuser. So, but then
yes,
again, we're talking about a very specific situation. It's not like the general population. I don't think that this is true. I played GTA my entire life. I ran over people, not just pregnant women. I did that to everyone, every single person. I had
yes,
fun killing people on GTA.
yes,
And it's not like I am going to kill people in real life. No. But I do have to say, however, that I imagine myself running over people that I didn't like on GTA.
yeah, yes, I know.
I've done that. It was like, and it felt so good at the time.
Yes, I'm guilty. I did this as well. I destroy everything with a tank or stuff like that.
Yeah. So, and we're not bad people. Here we are. Yeah. We're not evil. Yeah. Some people are just evil. So that is something that is very real. Well
Yeah,
done. Well
but
done.
these triggers could be used to identify that
Exactly. To identify
something like
disorders.
disorder, psychopathy,
Psychopathic. Yeah. The worst of
psychopathy,
them
something
all.
like that. Yeah,
Sociopathy. Yeah.
sociopathy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done, well done. Então, gente, feedback, é hora do feedback. Quero coletar o feedback de vocês. Primeira aulinha particular de vocês. O que vocês acharam? Vamos começar com você, Isabela.
Eu tô particularmente muito contente, assim, que a gente conseguiu continuar, né, assim, fora do espaço ali onde a gente começou. Enfim, apesar dos pesares, né, a gente pôde aí a gente conseguiu, na verdade, se organizar e fico feliz também porque um número suficiente de pessoas conseguiu, né, estar aqui, para que eu pudesse estar aqui. Então, enfim, eu sempre gostei, assim, da sua didática e é só game.
Arrasou, muito obrigado. Thaís, meu amor, o que você achou, querida?
Professor, eu também, assim, gosto muito da sua aula, da sua didática. Eu acho que o professor deixa a gente bem confortável na aula, né? Eu tenho bastante dificuldade para falar, então o professor consegue me deixar tranquila Mesmo assim, muito obrigada.
Por nada, meu amor, é um prazer.
Mas assim como a Isabela, eu também fico muito feliz que a gente conseguiu ainda, apesar dos pesares, continuar com as aulas do professor, porque realmente, se não continuasse, eu ia ficar muito triste.
Que bom que a gente conseguiu. Eu também tenho essa mesma sensação. Obrigado, viu? Carlos.
Mais do que as meninas disseram, né? Eu fiquei bem feliz que a gente conseguisse se juntar. Eu adoro sua didática. E a aula foi maravilhosa, assim, manteve o nível de todas. Foi legal que você trouxe algumas coisas polêmicas para a gente discutir. E é sempre bom porque a gente vai criando vocabulário, vai aprendendo, dá umas risadas quando erra. Tá uma maravilha.
Arrasou.
Tô bem
Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Guilherme?
Eu acho que o pessoal tá falando aí também, né? Concordo, que é muito bacana. Assim, e é bom que ficou mais concentrado. Eu não sei quantas pessoas que era para ter nessa turma.
Uhum. A expectativa é de 7. Eu imagino ter 7 pessoas no
Então,
total.
é um número bacana, assim. Eu acho que dá para todo mundo praticar bem, entender, ouvir, praticar ouvir também, né? Ouvir sotaque diferente, tá? Eu acho que é legal.
Beleza. Gente, muitíssimo obrigado mais uma vez. Obrigado por terem continuado comigo, tá? Eu fico muito feliz mesmo, de coração. Fico honrado, né? Fico honrado mesmo, de verdade. Então, assim, nós também vamos ter atividades para poder fazer, para a gente poder praticar, né? Mas agora, como, tipo assim, a aula tá particular comigo está 100% separado, eu não vou ser aquele carrasco de atividade, tá? Alguns de vocês me conheceram bem exigente com a atividade. Então, assim, não vai ser aquela coisa toda, não, tá? Eu vou passar atividade para vocês fazerem e tal. E eu vou corrigir, comentar, mas não vai ter aquele esquema de nota, tá? Porque na mentoria, quando eu tava lá ainda, aquela mentoria eu tinha que passar as notas pro Ed e tal, porque isso tinha. Ups! Ó,
Acho que a galera caiu.
Carlos, você tá aqui. Então, tipo assim, eu tinha nota para poder passar, porque isso contava para mentoria e tal. E agora, comigo só, isso não conta. Então, eu só vou pegar os erros, corrigir quando vocês fizerem atividade. Eu vou, como é que fala? Corrigir tudo bonitinho, passar para vocês, mas não vai ter nota. É mais simbólico mesmo para poder aprender, né? Muito bem. Então, rapazes, hoje não tem atividade, podem ficar tranquilos, tá? Muitíssimo obrigado pela aula de hoje, muitíssimo obrigado pelo feedback. Eu desejo para vocês uma excelente semana e a gente se vê na próxima segunda, fechou?
Fechou.
Fechou.
Excelente semana.
Tá
Até
joia.
mais.
Um
Falou.
abraço, tchau, tchau.
Abraço.